Om Ajnanam Timirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Tadanti Swapadantikam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. Today is the very auspicious day, advent of Bhagavad Gita. What we studied in Bhagavad Gita is what been explained more in detail in Srimad Bhagavatam, in much more easy way to understand, in a very story format. Krishna says, Manmana bhavamat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. He says, always remember me, offer your obeisances to me. And so for to remember Krishna constantly, meaning we need to know something about Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke so much, a lot of information, a lot of instructions has been given in Bhagavad Gita. But to remember Krishna, if I say you have to remember someone, you need to know that person and you need to know that person's activities so you can remember that person. And therefore Srimad Bhagavatam is a Mahapurana, Amalam Puranam, where it gives wonderful pastimes of Krishna's and Krishna's associates, devotees, where we can hear and remember about them. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam has a very close connection, as Bhagavad Gita can be considered to be a starting point of spirituality, as an ABCD. So it is important that every one of us who claims to be following the Sanatana Dharma should read Bhagavad Gita at least one time in lifetime. So one can call themselves to be following the path of Sanatana Dharma. And once we understand, read Bhagavad Gita, then the same Bhagavad Gita will inspire us to know more about God, and therefore we come to Srimad Bhagavatam to understand more about God. Therefore, we can remember Krishna. So remembering Krishna means we are in a safer zone, and forgetting Krishna means we are in dangerous zone. As simple as that. So we have to be in a safer zone, therefore we read and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. In this Bhagavat Purana, where, and also it's important that on the same day, on the Kirtan Jayanti, is also Ekadeshi. Today is also Ekadashi. It pretty much falls on the same day every year. Gita Jayanti and Ekadashi comes together. So it's a very, very special day today for us to perform anything that's spiritual on this very auspicious day. In the last sessions, we saw how the Swayambhuva Manu and Satarupa, both of them the couple was created by Brahmaji after creating the 4 sons, the Chatur Kumaras, and they disobeyed their father. They didn't want to get into the family program. They rejected that because they are self-realized and they didn't want to get into those things. Therefore, out of anger, from Brahma came Rudra, and Rudra of 11 different forms, they had their wives, consorts, and they started producing progenies. We saw that also. And when Manu and Shatarupa was created, they went to Brahma and asked Brahma, our duty is to produce citizens, but we need a place. But the place has been occupied or it's been taken away. It's been hidden somewhere under the ocean. Therefore, please help us so we can get the earth back to its original position so we can do our duty. Brahma was thinking, how am I going to do that one? While he was contemplating how am I going to do this one without his control, before that, intentionally he created many beings, Brahmaji. But then now he didn't intend to create anything. But while he was contemplating and thinking what to do, how am I going to take this earth out of the ocean? Something came from his nostril, a small size, very small, this much size of a being, a boar, wild boar. And that boar grew in a huge form. And we also heard that that's none other than the Lord Narayana himself in a form of Varahadev. So he dived into the ocean, went deep into the ocean, and then with his tusk he lifted Mother Earth, who was underneath, and then saved her. On the way back coming, Hiranyaksha was there, had a fight with the Lord, and the Varahadev killed him. So this is what we saw in our previous session. Appearance of Lord Varaha. And this is further elaborated in more details as we go through in following chapters. Now, while the story was being told by Maitreya Rishi to Vidura and Maitreya Rishi having the conversation. So if Maitreya Rishi is telling the story to Vidura is asking that Hiranyaksha, the original demon, was slain by the same form of sacrifices, the personality of Godhead. What was the reason, O Brahmana, for the fight between the demon king and the boar while the Lord was lifting the earth as his pastime? Because there's no details given. In the previous chapter, no details were given. He was trying to lift the Mother Earth. Hiranyaksha came, he killed Hiranyaksha. But then there's no story behind it, right? Therefore, Vidura was asking to Maitreya Rishi why there was a fight between the demon and the Lord. What happened? Can you please explain? When this question was asked, then the story goes like this, where we have to get connected to Diti. Diti and Aditi are two wives of Kashyapa Muni. Okay, so we are going to see that story now. By hearing these topics from the sage Narada, the son of King Uttanapada, Dhruva was enlightened. That means the question has been asked to Maitreya Rishi. Maitreya is telling the same question is asked by Dhruva. And then he was also enlightened by hearing this whole narration regarding personality of Godhead. He ascended to the abode of the Lord, placing his feet over the head of death. Over the head of death means Yamaraj. Yamaraj is a lord of death, right? So if anyone is talking about Yamaraj, if people become very fearful. But then it is said over here where Dhruva Maharaj stamped on the head of Yamaraj and walked up to the Vaikuntha planet. Right? There is Arvas also sing the same thing in their songs, beautiful songs. The similar thing, where I don't fear. The translation goes like this, where the Arva says that I don't fear of Yama because I chant the name of Narayana, Keshava, Madhava, Govinda. Therefore, one who chants the name of the Lord, do not be fearful. They can just jump and walk on Yama and step up. Use them as the steps to go up. He says like that. Tad bhavan dhayamanayam sa patninam samriddhibihi prajavatinam badram te mai ayuktam anugraham. Therefore, you should be kind towards me by showing me the complete mercy. I desire to have son. Now, what happens is this conversation happened between Kashyapa and Diti. Diti and Kashyapa, husband and wife. And Kashyapa, as I told, he also had another wife called Aditi. Therefore, from the children who came from Aditi are Adityas. Adityas. And the children who came from Ditya, Daityas. Daityas. That's how they've been called. Now, Diti was serving her husband, Kashyapa Muni, and then one fine day she approached her husband and said, I have a request for you. Could you please fulfill my desire? And Kashyapa said, what do you want? I want to have children. Could you please bless me with child? I want to have very strong, powerful children, sons. Could you please bless with me? Therefore, she is asking this one. Tat bhavan dhayamanayam sa patinam samriddhibihi prajavatinam badramte mai ayuktam anugraham. Please be merciful upon me. I want children. I am much distressed by seeing the opulence of my co-wives. By performing this act, you will become happy. Our well-wisher, Father Daksha, their father is Daksha, Prajapati Daksha, after knowing our intention, handed over 13 of his daughters unto you. To who? Kashyapa. These calculations all comes later. The list of names, who got married to who, all those things are listed out, which will come later. 13 of these daughters been married to Kashyapa Muni. Kashyapa Muni. And since then, we have been faithful. We all have been faithful to you. O afflicted one, now I shall forthwith gratify whatever desire. Now Kashyapa, after hearing this a request from his wife Diti, he said, I am happy with your service. I can satisfy your desire, but listen. But please listen. This is not the right time for you to conceive a child. This is not the right time to conceive a child. Just be patient. When the right time comes, you will have children, good children, and you'll be happy and they will be happy. Everyone will be happy. When Diti heard this message from Kashyapa, she was quite not happy about it. She said, no, I need it now. I want now. I cannot wait for few more days. I want now. She was quite, adamant in her demands. Initially, it came as a request, then changed into a demand now. She said, no, I can't wait. Why we have to wait? What's wrong in waiting? Let's go for it. Let's have a children. That's our mood was. Oh, afflicted one, I shall forthwith gratify whatever desire is dear to you. For who else but you is the source of the three perfections of liberation? So when she is asking, you are the one who can fulfill my desire. As one can cross over the ocean with sea-going vessels, one can cross the dangerous situation of the material ocean by living with a wife. So she's still continuing her proposal. She's still continuing her proposal, saying that these are different nice slokas that she's chanting. O respected one, a wife is so helpful that she is called the better half of a man's body. These chapter and the chapter that's going to come later are quite very important, specifically for people in family life. Because Bhagavatam, as we go deep into the Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam is going to cover pretty much all the varnas and ashramas, which means Bhagavatam is meant for anyone and everyone. It's not just meant for one particular people or one particular category of people, or no. Whichever varna you fall into, whatever ashrama you fall into, doesn't matter. Everyone can learn from Srimad Bhagavatam to cultivate bhakti. Therefore, here we can see these sections is specifically for the grahasthas, how a grahastha should be. And also the chapter which is going to come with the conversation between Kardama Muni and Devahuti. Devahuti Kardama Muni, husband and wife conversation. That's a beautiful conversation also happens. So these are some nice things for one to take and learn from this, how a family life should be. Oh, therefore now Kashyapa is responding, oh respectful one, a wife is so helpful. She's first of all, he is not rejecting a request, he is just appreciating. Wife by all means is a great help for the husband. Why? Because wife are the ones who have to keep track of husband, that husband is going in a right track. Right? So wife has a much more important responsibility to make sure, because husbands goes out. Traditional, I'm talking about traditionally. Husband goes out, they work, they mingle with many types of people, different gender. So there are all possibilities for husbands to go in a different path, in a wrong path. Therefore, wife has to check on the husband constantly, not check all the time the phones and copy, CC your emails that you send to me. It's not like that, but in the way. So that's the purpose of the patni. Therefore, she is called dharma patni. Dharma patni. She keeps husband in the right track. If she has to keep husband in the right track, she has to be in the right track. She also needs to know what dharma means. Right? If she has to know what dharma means, there is no institution there is no any college or anything which is going to teach what dharma means. She has to learn the dharma from her parents. Her parents. Her parents has to lead a dharmic life. Therefore, the girls learns seeing their father and mother. She can get into the family life when she is ready to. Right? Therefore, it's very important for father and mother to set an example for their children. So when they grow up, they know how their parents dealt the situation, and they can have a successful married life. So it's quite important here. The wife is so helpful that she is called the better half of a man's body, because as sharing is all auspicious activities, a man can move without anxiety, entrusting all responsibilities to his wife. So he can concentrate on what he needs to do, earn money, do things, whatever he needs to do. But then the house responsibility is completely given to the wife. Wife runs the business. The ideal example is Mother Sita in Ramayana. Sita, as we might not know much about Sita, but she is multi-talented personality. Multi-talented personality. She knows she was untold treasurer. She knows what's in there in treasure. She knows all sort of dharmas, the pati dharma, patni dharma, and then as a dharma of daughter-in-law, Dharma as a mother, Dharma as a house citizenship. She knows in and out of everything, because her father was Janaka Maharaj. Is a great devotee. He knows everything. Therefore, she was brought up very nicely. That is why it is very important at the time of marriage. It's very important whom you are inviting into your family, right? Whom you invited, whether you're getting a daughter-in-law into your family or a son-in-law into your family. It really matters. That's why the most of the energy goes into that particular aspect, because we have a family, husband, wife, father, mother, your own circle. Now marriage means you're inviting someone outside of this particular circle. Someone new person is going to get into the family. If that person who comes into the family can enrich the family environment or completely destroy the family, anything could happen. Therefore, it's important that a lot of education goes into the children. So the children also has a proper maturity to choose the right spouse, right spouse. So that's very important over here. As a fort commander very easily conquers invading splendorers by taking shelter of a wife, one can conquer the senses, which are unconquerable in the other social orders. One time our Acharya Srila Prabhupada says that either you get married or you become a full-time brahmachari. He says this one. In other words, you get married or you stay in the temple, stay in the mud, in the ashram and do service. But not getting married, but being engaged in so many other activities is not a safer thing to do. It's not, he says bachelor daddies. He calls those people as bachelor daddies because you're still not married, but neither here nor there. What ashram do you fall into? Neither one. So better to get married in a sense. Why? Because your senses will be under control. Otherwise, your senses will start wandering all over the places. You start looking for different opportunity to experience your senses and enjoy many things. And that's not going to be very nice. Therefore, safer thing is Grihastha ashram is safer. You get married, you be dedicated, you be sincere to each one, right? And truthful to each one. In that way, together make a journey towards God. That much safer. In many ways. O Queen of the home, Navayam Prabhavattam Tvam Anukartim Griheshwari Api Ayushya Va Kartsneya Nena Ye Chanya Guna Grinavaha. O Queen of the home, we are not able to act like you, nor could we repay you for what you have done, even if we worked for our entire life or even after death. To repay you is not possible even for those who are admirers of personal qualities. So is appreciating what you have done is great, because you sacrifice, you left your home, your father, mother, you come here, you serve the husband, get adjusted to the new environment, new settings. Sometimes things may not work the way that you want to work, because you've been patted and taken care by your father, your mother very nicely. It's all new setup altogether now. So especially for women, it's a great sacrifice to enter into the new house. Therefore, the Rishi is appreciating what sacrifice you have done, and you've been continues to do these things. Whatever we do, we cannot repay you. We cannot repay you. What you have done, we cannot repay you. So this particular time is most inauspicious. Now he's getting to the point. See the way the Rishi is talking. Just imagine, this is a nice way of communication. You can learn the communication here. It's a very non-violent communication. Way if someone is coming and asking you, I want something, you simply say, I cannot do that for you. I cannot do that for you. That could be the real statement that we want to convey this message to other person. I cannot do this for you. But then the truth has to be told in a much more palatable way. Right? Palatable way. So it is accepted by the other party also. Therefore, Kashyapa over here is very nicely telling, you are great wife, you are wonderful, you sacrifice so much, everything is nice. But there's one thing that I want to tell you. I want to satisfy your request, but the time now is inauspicious. This is not the time, good time. This is exactly the time where the goblins and other things are roaming around. This is not the time where you want to, don't want to get together. The result is going to be similar thing coming out. Right? Therefore, this is not the right auspicious time. It's horrible looking ghosts and constant companions of the Lord of the ghosts are visible. Kashyapa Vacha. The learned Kashyapa said, because of your mind being polluted, because of the defilement of the particular time, because of your negligence of my direction, and because of your being apathetic to the demigods, everything was inauspicious. What happened was, in between these set of slokas, Diti was not ready to hear. She was quite forceful, and she said, no, this is what it is. I want children right now. Let's work on it. And then Kashyapa was pushed and forced. He said, well, this is all God's choice. How much ever you try to control, certain things are out of our control. And therefore, he satisfied our desire. After things have happened, usually it happens. After things have happened, then you start repenting of what mistake we have done. By the time, it's all happened. You cannot reverse back. So many things you cannot reverse back. Even though you repent of the mistake we have done, we cannot reverse back. It happens, right? Sometimes we always think after making mistakes, sometimes people make mistake and then you think, oh, I shouldn't have spoken like this. I shouldn't have told like this. Right? But it's too late. It's already gone. It's gone out of your mouth. It's gone out of, and all those things is gone. So therefore it's very important. Before that, are we trying to satisfy our mind, or are we trying to satisfy our mind, or are we trying to satisfy something else? So we have to be carefully making a right choice so that we don't get into this repentancy mood after the fact, which cannot be reversed. Therefore, here also we can say Kashyapa was not at all happy for what has happened. She didn't listen to her husband, so he was very unhappy. He said, well, you have to face the consequences now. The consequence is going to be very bad, as because of the time factor. Okay. Therefore, in the traditional way, everything as samskaras. Samskara means there is purification, purifying factors of ritualistic acts need to be performed. And in Sanatana Dharma, starting from the birth until the death, there is always some samskaras are there. 10 to 16 samskaras are there. It has to be performed. Samskaras like, starting from the birth, before conceiving a child, there are samskaras need to be performed. After a child is conceived, certain samskaras need to be performed. After a child is born, number of samskaras have been performed. Right? So many things goes until the end. Right? At the starting, for us, our parents has to do. At the end, after we cannot do after the end. We are gone, right? We cannot do samskara for ourselves, right? Before that, before we are born, our parents have to do for us. And after we are gone from this body, who has to do? Our children has to do. In between 1 and 16, there are 14 other items has to be done by who? Either parents or later part, we have to do ourselves. All these things are very important. That's called purificatory ritualistic performance. It has to be performed. Because everything in this world is contaminated. Therefore, the purification should happen so that we take best out of whatever we have. Whatever we have. So the process itself is not bad. How we perform the process is what matters. Anything for that matter. Therefore, Kashyapa Muni is saying that we didn't do a proper planning. We didn't do proper planning. It just happened. Therefore, you have to deal with the situation. The haughty one, you will have two contemptuous sons born of your condemned womb. Unlucky woman. Sorry, this is all coming from his mouth. Kashyapa is speaking all. Unlucky woman. They will cause constant lamentation to all the three worlds. This conversation happening between Kashyapa and his wife Diti, the story is being told by Maitreya to Vidura. Maitreya to Vidura. And that story is being told to Shaunaka Rishi by Suta Goswami, where Suta Goswami heard this from Shukadeva Goswami's conversation with Parikshit Maharaj. Do not forget. They will kill poor, faultless living entities, torture women, and enrage the great soul. The names are not revealed yet. So these two people who are going to be born to you is going to give hard time to the entire three worlds. They are going to torture everyone and anyone. Kashyapa continued. Varun, please read.
The Lord Kashyapa said, because of your lamentation, penitence, and proper deliberation, and also because of your unflinching faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and your adoration for Lord Shivani, one of the sons, Prahlad, of your son Hiranyakashipu, will be an approved devotee of the Lord, and his fame will be broadcasted equally with that of the Personality of Godhead.
So here, Diti become, after hearing this one, just imagine someone is telling your child is going to be like this. He is going to torture others. He is going to be giving lamentation to all the people. He is kill people. Right? What? Which mother is going to be happy about hearing all such things? And she was feeling very, very bad about it. She said, my dear husband, what is this? I'm going to get a child like this. Please be kind and merciful upon me. Please change the situation. And Kashyapa said, sorry, it's too late. It's all done. We cannot change the situation. But one good thing will happen. One good thing will happen. Your grandson that you're going to get will be a great devotee, great bhakta. Your grandson will be a great devotee. By then, you all will be somehow get relieved from all the mistakes and sins you have done, because of that one soul who's going to be appearing later. You will be blessed. Your family will be blessed. Your children will be blessed. Everyone will be blessed. The future generation will also be blessed. That great soul is going to appear in your line by these demons that you're going to get. And Diti felt little okay about it. She was happy about it. Continue.
The sage Maitreya said, hearing that her grandson would be a great devotee and that her son would be killed by Krishna, Diti was highly pleased in mind.
Pleased in mind. By the force of the pregnancy of Diti, the light of the sun and moon was impaired in all the planets, and the demigods of various planets being disturbed by that force. Now she conceived child. As soon as that happened, now the whole environment started changing, and the devatas, the demigods, were wondering what's happening. Situation doesn't seem to be very nice. There seem to be some disturbances that are happening. So they didn't understand what's going on. So they went to Brahmadeva, or Brahma, and they were just asking what's going on here. Why these changes are happening? Nothing seems to be normal here. There's a whole pralaya is going to happen now. Is a pralaya is going to happen? What's happening here? So when they approached Brahma, Brahma started telling now what's going to happen and why these things are happening here. Manasame Suta Yusmat Purvajaha Sanakadayah. Shiru Vihayasa Lokal Lokeshu Vigatat Prahaha. Now he says that Brahma said, my four sons, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana and Sanat Kumara, who are born from my mind, or your predecessors. Sometimes they travel throughout the material and spiritual skies without any definite desire. So he's telling that my sons, four children who came from my mind, they travel anywhere and everywhere. They are completely renounced. They were traveling different planets, different places. While they were traveling different places, they also went to Vaikuntha. They went to Vaikuntha. Now, as they were going to Vaikuntha, Vaikuntha has 7 gates. Vaikuntha has 7 entrances, 7 gates. You have to pass through all different gates. Then finally, you will see the Lord, who is with his consort Lakshmi. So you have to pass through all these 7 gates. So Sanat Kumara, these 4 sons, they were traveling. They came to Vaikuntha. As they were traveling Vaikuntha, they passed through each and every gate. They came to the last gate. Remember, every gate has 2 doorkeepers, and the names are also given. Every gate has 2 doorkeepers. They respectively opened the door, one after another. These 4 boys, they really walked, passing through all this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gates passed. And in the same space, they were trying to enter the 7th gate. As they were trying to enter the 7th gate, the door was not opened, whereas all the 6 gates were opened without any questions. When they came to the 7th gate, there are 2 gate doorkeepers did not open the door. They did not open the door. Rather, they blocked them and told them you should go. This place is Lord Narayana's place. You cannot enter. You should go. As soon as the Sanat Kumara's 4 sons heard this, that they have been not allowed to enter the 7th gate, they became very upset, very angry, very angry. After passing through the 6 entrances of Vaikuntha Puri, the Lord's residence, without feeling astonishment at all the decorations they saw at the 7th gate, 2 shining beings of the same age, armed with mace and adorned with most valuable jewelry, earrings, diamonds, helmets, garments, etc. So when you go to Vishnu temple, always before entering to the actual altar, the inside, you will see outside the two personalities with four hands on the 2 sides. You can check it out also in our temple over here. Those two personalities. This is the 7th gate. Seventh gate. Those 2 personalities are the same personality whom we are going to see right now. They appear exactly, no difference in the appearance of the Lord himself, with four hands, carrying the whole thing that the Lord carries, the complexion, the way that they're wearing the things, the jewelry, earrings, everything is identical. So beautiful to see, very nice. But then they act totally different. Right? What happened? Is that who wants to read? You please read. This story section very important, because we are going to see the conflicts here between two parties, and the resolution done by the owner of Vaikuntha. He comes around, it's all the power. Okay, it's quite interesting thing. You see, devotees are no. Vaikuntha, this person is serving the Lord. The 4 Kumaras are also devotees wanting to serve the Lord. They both have fight, conflict.
How is that? So what's happening here? Therefore, as soon as they will blocked by this personalities, two people, doorkeepers. Now the Kumara, the poor Kumara, boys become very angry. He said, what? How is it even possible in Vaikuntha? Any is going to come. Can anyone enter? If you read Puranas, in any of the Puranas, you want to see that the demons entered Vaikuntha. Demon will go to Amaravati, Indrapatnam, or it will go to any other planets, but never see they occupied Vaikuntha. Right? That's not what it is. No one can easily enter Vaikuntha that easily. I was just watching a clip of one movie. In that movie, demon is coming to Vaikuntha and the Lord is nodding on the Anandasesha. As soon as the Lord, the demon is coming, he out of fear, Vishnu disappear. Sometimes people make up all the stories, and sometimes people who haven't read the Purana, they think what the story is doing real. It's not possible to anyone enter Vaikuntha. It's not at all possible. Therefore, the Santa Kumara is asking this question, saying that why are you blocking us? No enemies are going to come here. There's no way they come here. Only the people who want to serve the Lord are allowed to come to Vaikuntha. And you're blocking us. You don't seem to be fit to be here. You don't seem to be fit to be in Vaikuntha because you see the differences, right? You don't understand who the person is, right? Therefore, you don't have the qualities. Where's the possibility of enemies coming here? Who can be envious of him? Probably these person or imposters. You're really not fit to be here. You should not be a servant of the Lord in Vaikuntha. Please read. Yourself.
In the Bible, world there is the harmony justice and personality of God. Just as there is the harmony with space between the big and the small skies. Why then is there a seed of fear in this field of harmony? These two persons are just like the inhabitants of Vaikuntha, but where from their disharmony come into existence? Therefore, let us consider how these two contaminated persons should be punished. The punishment should be apt, for thus punishment can effectually be bestowed upon them. Since they find duality in the existence of Vaikuntha life, they are contaminated and should be removed from this place to the material world, where the living entities have three kinds of entities.
So you could see here, in Vaikuntha there's no conflicts. Everyone works together to serve the Lord. There's always harmony. Right? Now, therefore, these people are not fit to be here. That means they have to be removed from this position and they need to send to the place where there is conflict, there's problem, there's no harmony, there's always all this sort of differences. And that place could be only earth, material world, anywhere in the material world. Material world means all these things are possible. Any two persons staying together for a long time is a great achievement. Is a great achievement. Sometimes we hear that sometimes people in office people talk that today is my wedding anniversary, and then they tell the number very proudly. We've been married for 5 years. Someone said we've been married for 40 years. So that means in no way that you have to think about how many years you live together. It's just a way of life. Okay? So living is together means obviously there's going to be a lot of problems. Therefore, people usually try to avoid any sort of being together. Doesn't want to be together. It's better to be alone by themselves, right? So we can see in Vaikuntha that's not the case. In Vaikuntha everyone want to be together, work together. And especially in Vaikuntha, the Lord likes more people. He doesn't like to be isolated. He doesn't want to be sitting idle with no people around, be in peace, be in, not like that. He always likes people around. Therefore, we can see that's only possible in Vaikuntha. When these people rejected us going into the Vaikuntha, they are not fit to be here. They need to be thrown into the material world where they can go through all the things. But one important thing they said, we have to properly punish them in such a way this punishment becomes a boon or benefit for them. Okay? See the wonderful quality of this Sanat Kumara. If you are angry with someone, Varun, do you get angry at all, Varun? Really? Okay. When you get angry and your voice goes up, sometimes you speak loud and say something to someone in anger. When you say something to someone in anger, do you think I need to do something good for this person? Do you think like that and show your anger? Not at all, right? Does anyone have that sort of thing? You show your anger, but for that person benefit, right? But then here we can see Sanat Kumara, they are thinking we have to punish them. We have to punish them in such a way they get benefit out of it. They get purified. Okay? They get purified. For example, we are going to see the stories also where the sons of Kuvera, Nala Kuvera and Manigriva, right? They've been cursed by Narada Muni. You see many times Durvasa Muni curses. So many rishis you keep. Many times you see, we read Bhagavad Gita, right? In the Bhagavad Gita, you have to be what? No anger. You have to be controlling your anger in mode of goodness. Mode of goodness means no anger. You have to be in shant. You should not be, you see everyone equally. But when you read Purana, the person who is mostly getting angry are rishis and munis. What is this? It's confusing. They're supposed to be get rishis and munis. Why are they get angry? Why they have to behave like this? But the secondary reason is they don't get carried away by the three modes. But when they curse people, they do it for the benefit of that person. It actually turned out to be much better. The curse has become a boon for that person. When we curse someone, nothing comes out. So please do not take this example and apply that I am also Dhruva's Muni, Nard Muni. Let me also curse people because of his benefit. He get benefit out of it. We have no such power to behave like that. Therefore, better not to speak anything bad about others, not to curse anyone. Even mentally, we should not do those things. If you're this practical application, if you're angry on someone, you cannot control. Just remove yourself from that spot. Because more you stay, more you try to be in that environment, things are going to come out. Things are going to come out. So better you be away from that situation. At least you don't commit mistakes, offenses, right? We don't want to do those things. Whoever has to take care of that person is watching, and they will take care of that person. It's not our responsibility and duty to punish others. We are not Yamaraj. Right? We are not Yamaraj. We are not God. We are not the person's guru. Therefore, we should not be taking any of those responsibility. Let whoever is responsible take care of that person. In that way, we are also peace, and that person also doesn't develop more grudge or angry on us. We are just leave it like that. Okay. Now, at that very moment, now interesting thing happens. When this conversation was going on, already these two people lost. They think, oh my God, we made a mistake. Because they've been cursed now. They've been cursed, which means they cannot continue their service as a doorkeeper to the Lord, and they have to go out of this place deep into the material world. Right? That means, my God, what's going to happen to me? They shivered with fear, and they understood they committed a big mistake. Right? They committed a big mistake. They didn't know what to do now. While the situation was in a friction was going on between these two parties, and the interesting thing happened. The conflict resolution agent came on the spot. Right? Door was not opened. Nothing was. Suddenly, the person appeared. They appeared at that very moment. Who wants to read this? Someone?
At the very moment, the Lord, who is called Padmanabha because of the lotus crown from his navel, and who is the delight of the righteous, learned about the insult offered by his own servants to the saints. Accompanied by his spouse, the goddess of fortune, he went to the spot on those very field sought for by recursions and great sages.
So the Lord appeared on the spot. Sometimes when there are two problems are happening, two people are arguing or fighting, there could be people sitting over there and then enjoying that situation. They will enjoy. These two people, these guys will. It's like for them like a achar, extra. Nice things are going on, right? Two people are fighting, they start enjoying this thing. They don't get into any of those things, right? Even though they have all rights to correct the situation and deal the situation differently, they just let the conversation happen. The Lord was not like that. He was not thinking, I am Vaikuntapati. Me coming out is not good. I will sit in my position. He was not doing any of them. He understood there's a serious things going on right now. And both the parties are dear to my heart. Both the parties are dear to my heart. I have to go and resolve the situation before it gets worst. So he came right on the spot over there with his consort. Lakshmi was also present over there. Right? When the breeze carrying the aroma of tulasi leaves, this is where the change of heart happens to the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras were jnanis. There are jnanis, there are bhaktas, different categories of people are there, right? The four Kumaras, until this point, they were jnanis. They were mostly of impersonal worshippers. Impersonal worship, I mean God. They are not into the program of worshipping God in the form. They were until this point. They were not. But then, as soon as the Lord came, the tulasi leaves on the feet of the Lord, that smell travel and enter the nostrils of these four Kumaras. Tulasi leaves. The smell of tulasi went into the nostrils of this four Kumaras. As soon as the smell went into them, the whole consciousness changed. The whole consciousness changed in them. When the breeze carrying the aroma of tulasi leaves from the toes of the lotus feet of the personality of God had entered the nostrils of those sages, they experienced a change both in body and in mind, even though they were attached to the impersonal Brahman understanding. Now, as soon as that thing happened, they started praising the Lord now. They started glorifying from nice stotram of the Lord. Kumara said, our dear Lord, you are not manifested to rascals. The God does not appear for anyone and everyone. Even if he appears, some people may not understand. In the story of, you can see in the story of Ramayana, you can see in the story of Krishna, there are people who believed and there are people who did not believe. Okay? So that means even though he appears, he covers himself to those people, but he opens himself to those people who believes in him, who trust in him. Therefore, even though you are seated within the heart of everyone, but as far as we are concerned, we see you face to face, although you are unlimited. the statements we have heard about you from our father Brahma through the years have now been actually realized by your kind appearance. Until this point, they never seen the Lord. All they heard was the stories from Brahmaji, their father. Now it's become factual, it's real, that they see the Lord face to face. Face to face. Who wants to read? Can someone read?
We know that you are the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, who manifests his transcendental form in the uncontaminated mode of pure goodness. This transcendental, eternal form of your personality can be understood only by your mercy, through unflinching devotional service, by great sages whose hearts have been purified in the devotional way.
Tam tvam vidhama bhagavan param atma tattvam satvena sampriti ratim rachayantam esham. So he says, by this particular, by your mercy alone, one can understand and see you. It's not possible otherwise. And this is all possible only by one performing bhakti. And that bhakti should be unflinching bhakti. Right? Everyone performs bhakti, but for what reason is important. Bhakti should be performed for not getting anything out of your prayers. Unflinching bhakti, and all unmotivated, right? Unmotivated. Unflinching means the bhakti can fluctuate. Today my mood is very good, therefore I am performing bhakti. Therefore I am praying to God. Therefore I am coming and attending Bhagavatham class. Today my mood is not good. We'll skip the class. Something happened in family, therefore I'll skip the class. So that's called fluctuating, flickering mind, right? But at any reason, I'm not going to change my bhakti to the Lord. I'll continue my performance of bhakti, and that is what is called true bhakti. True bhakti. Kamam bhavah svavrijnair nirayeshu na chat. He says, oh Lord, we pray that you let us be born in any hellish condition. Now these four boys, they are thinking that they made a mistake. Right? They understand they made a mistake. What mistake? They shouldn't have shown their anger. They shouldn't have shown their anger. The two doorkeepers are thinking, we shouldn't have blocked these four boys. They are thinking that we should have blocked. We made a big mistake. And now after the smells got into their nostrils, now they come to the realization, they think we shouldn't have cursed these two people, because after all what they did, they're doing their duty. Why we cursed them? Therefore they are quite understanding, coming to their senses. They are telling, even if we have to go a hellish condition for the mistake that we have done, the boys are speaking to the Lord. Even if they know very well they made a mistake, if we go to the hellish condition, only one thing we are requesting to you. They're sure that they're going to got into the problem now. So they are requesting the Lord this thing. Vachascha nas tulasivat yati te angri shobhaha. Now he says, because of the tulasi leaves that came from your lotus feet, now always engage in your service. Let our heart be dedicated to you. Let us be engaged in your service. The translation goes like this. We pray that you let us be born in any hellish condition of life, just as long as our hearts and minds are always engaged in the service of your lotus feet. Our words are made beautiful by speaking of your activities, just as tulasi leaves are beautified when offered unto your lotus feet, and as long as our ears are always filled with the chanting of your transcendental qualities. The point is that whatever the condition we may be born into, we don't worry about that one, but let us always remember your lotus feet. Remember you. That's all we are requesting for. We don't want to be forgetful of you. any given situation. Now, after reading these prayers, the Lord starts speaking. It'll be interesting to see what the Lord is going to speak now. He has to respond back, right? So here he speaks. Yete tu parsadhau mayam jayo vijaya yevacha kadarti krityamam yadvo bhav akratham atikramam. He says, these two servants of mine, Jaya and Vijaya, their names has been introduced now. These are two servants of mine, doorkeepers, Jaya Vijaya. Right? So Jaya Vijaya, Dwara, when you before enter, you see those two personalities are called Jaya and Vijaya. For one mistake, what they have done, you're going to see what's going to happen to them. Right? Now we'll see. The personality of God had said, these two attendants of mine, Jaya and Vijaya by name, have committed a great offense against you because of ignoring me. Okay? What they could have done, an option they could have thought about is that, please wait here, let me go consult whether you are allowed or not. They could have done this one also. By that way, the poor Kumaras wouldn't have got offended. Right? Let me go, go inside and ask the Lord if you can be allowed inside. So they just ignored, and they made a call on their own, and they just rejected these four devotees entering into this one. What a big blunder they have done. They've committed a mistake unto you. Oh great sages, I approve of the punishment that you who have devoted to me have meted out to them. He says, I approve. From this point we should understand that in the story we're going to see later is Brihu, one of the great Rishi, Brihu. There was a meeting happened by all the sages. The conclusion of the thing is, we need to find who is the Supreme Lord. Who is the Supreme Lord? Whether it's Brahma, or whether it's Lord Shiva, or whether it's Vishnu, who is Supreme? So to test their superiority, you need to challenge those personalities. To challenge Brahma, to challenge Shivji, to challenge Vishnu, we should have courage to do that one, right? So they were thinking whom to send. They finally appointed Brihu Muni. Brihu Muni was sent, and the story you will see that later. In short, in connection to this narration that we are seeing, Brihu went and kicked the chest of Vishnu, Narayana. Kicked right. Can you think about it? Someone is kicking the Lord's chest. He kicked right on the chest of Narayana, who was lying down having nice massage, and especially someone has been spoken or treated ill in front of their spouse. It is not very good. It's not very good, right? Vishnu was insulted in front of his wife, Lakshmi, by Brihu. But immediately Vishnu got up, Narayana got up. You know what he did? He respected Brihu. He told, please forgive me for my offenses. Let me massage your feet. Let me take. You were doing all these upacharas. Whatever need to be done is being done to him. Right? Now the same Narayana Vishnu over here is telling these two people are fit to be punished by you. Whatever the punishment you gave is appropriate. They have to go through this punishment. Why? When he could tolerate what happened to him by the kick of Brihu, why can't he tolerate the situation over here? The answer is very simple. But the message is very important for all of us. The message is, you commit mistake to the Lord, He doesn't take it big, because He has that Vatsalya Rasa. When again, you're the only one sitting in front right here. I'm going to pick on you again. You get angry on your mother, which you never do that, right? Right? Okay. So you get upset. Okay, let's go to, say, I mean, I see another person on there. View. Okay, because we already dealt with our view. You get upset with your mom, right? You get upset with your mom, and you get upset with your mom, okay? And your mom says, "From you're angry with me. From now onwards, no food for you." Does she say that? And your dad is coming and tell, "What? I'm not going to pay you tuition fees. I'm not going to get you to all these classes. No more buying any gifts for your birthday. Nothing." Does he say that? How many times did you get upset and angry with your mom and dad? One time, two times, or is unlimited? Unlimited. Thank you. Unlimited. But any time your mom and dad said, "No dinner for you, my dear son," they make sure you eat well. They make sure you've been taken care well. Yes? When we commit mistake to the Lord considered himself to be as a parent. They are doing out of ignorance. Forgive them. Forgive them. Forgive them. That's how he behaves. Now, here, they have left already. Kids have left here. Now, between brother and sister, sister, brother combination. Okay, one brother, another brother, one sister, another one fight. Okay, what is the parent going to tell? Fight, fight, fight. Nicely fight. Do they say that? They don't. They try to consider what went wrong or correct the situation. Right? They correct the situation. And you can see here what's happening. Because for the Lord, whether it's doorkeeper or the four children, four Kumaras, it's all Lord's children. Now there's a conflict between these two parties. Therefore, the Lord says, what these people have done is mistake. I can accept mistake, offense committed to me, but I cannot accept the offense committed to my devotees. My devotees. Right? Therefore, aparadha, Vaishnava aparadha, they say. Therefore, committing mistake to a devotee is more serious and severe than committing offense to the Lord himself directly. It's very important. In Durvasa's, Amrish Maharaj and Durvasa stories, we are going to see the similar thing also when we get there. Right? Many things. So we have to be very careful, to be very respectful for the bhaktas, to the devotees, especially. Therefore, he did not accept and approve this particular thing. What has happened? Who wants to read? Next. Come on. It's not there? Am I showing some blank things?
These servants of mine have transgressed against you, not knowing the mind of their master. I shall therefore deem it a favor done to me, if you order that, although reaping the fruit of their transgression, they may return to my presence soon, and the time of their exile from my abode may expire before long. Brahma continued, even though the sages have been bitten by the serpent of anger, their souls were not satiated with hearing the Lord's lovely and illuminating speech, which was like a series of Vedic hymns.
What happened was, so these two parties were having conflicts. The Lord came, and the Lord is equal to both of them, right? So, which side is he going to take? Which side is going to take? But then the Lord seemed to be more favorable towards this Kumaras, and he's approved their decision and the curse that made against the two keepers, where they have been serving the Lord for many, we don't know, eternally. Eternally they've been serving the Lord. He approved this one. He was praising these four Kumaras. And these four Kumaras literally got confused. That's what is happening here. They got confused. Is he really praising, or is he trying? What is he? sometimes people have this knack of speaking. They want to convey the message in such a way you will not understand whether this is really praising me or is chastising me. Right? They have this way of nicely communicating the message. Right? It's a special skill to do that one. Right? So these four Kumaras got completely confused. What's happening here? The Lord speaking so beautifully, so eloquently, so nicely. Keep on hearing. But what's the message for us? Is he telling what we did is wrong, or is really trying to say what we did is correct? They're little not sure about these things. Oh, here. Now the Lord excellent speech was very difficult and very hard to comprehend for these two. Therefore the sages said this one. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are unable to know what you intend for us to do. For even though you are the supreme ruler of all, you speak in our favor as if we had done something good for you. Right? I'm confused now. We didn't do anything good for you. In fact, we removed these two people from this. But the way that you are talking seems to be glorifying our act. What we did is right. Whatever punishment you wish to award to these two innocent persons, or also to us, we shall accept without duplicity. We understand that we have cursed two faultless persons. They ended their prayer saying that these are innocent, these two are innocent. They've been cursed by us. But whatever you feel appropriate, we are ready to go through the punishment. We are ready to go through the punishment. That's what they said. And now Bhagavan Uvacha. Who wants to read? Who has not read?
The Lord replied, O Brahmanas, know that the punishment you inflicted on them was originally ordained by me, and therefore they will fall to a birth in a demonic family. But they will be firmly united with me in thought through the mental concentration intensified by anger, and they will return to my presence shortly.
A very important point, if you can catch something in this in the sloka, he says that the punishment you inflicted on them was originally ordained by me. How come? Right? So how come is another thing. Now before we get into that one, please understand an important message for us. In our life, we have people who sometimes gives us really hard time. There could be people, if you haven't had, very nice. And we pray that you continue being like that. But there could be people who give hard time, right, in some way or the other. Now we might be thinking that this person, I wish this person doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. It's giving such a pain in my neck. This person is such a torture, right? So we think like that. But think about one thing before that one. Can anyone ever be a problem in our life? Question one. Meaning, let me repeat this one. Can anyone whom we think a problem created, can they have the power of creating problem to us? Usually we think yes. Generally the psychology is that we think that yes, this person is creating problem to me. That means that person is very powerful. You are not. We are not. We are not powerful. That person has a power to inflict pain upon me. That means we accepted that person is superior than me. One thing. Another thing that we are also accepting that is that person has the complete control of my happiness and distress, problems. Second part. The third part we are also accepting is that that person is the one who is controlling my karma. Right? Now you think about these different points that we saw. In reality, no one ever have any control of anyone, over anyone. No, that doesn't seem to be the truth, because I know very well when I go to office, this person creates a problem all the time. When I go to my house, that when I go to India, I'll be very peaceful being with my parents. If I have to go to my in-laws' house, oh, problem, right? It's better I don't go to India. People talk all those things. But think about it. Will that person has the power to give problem to you? That means you are accepting that person to be God. No one can ever give hard time or problem unless and until it is, again read that statement, originally ordained by the Lord. Unless and until Lord sanctions, no one can ever do anything to us. That's a simple answer. These people are just coming into our life to give problems because the Lord sanctions. You have to go through this one by this person, that person, this person, like this, mental torture, physical torture, whatever it could be. You have to go through this person. I approve that to happen. And we all know why the Lord approves that to happen. As He's not just randomly taking, you suffer, you enjoy, you suffer, you enjoy. You're wearing a black color dress, therefore I'm happy with your color, you enjoy. You're wearing a green color one, I didn't like that color, today someone will come and torture you. He's not going into that program. Everyone is getting repaid of the karma they have done. And even repaying the karma should be sanctioned by the Lord. That's what is happening over here. That's what is happening over here. Therefore, we should understand when the problems happens in our life, when people are tortured, giving us a hard time, I'm just simply going through my karma. At this point of time, simply take shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. That's the only shelter for us. But let all this karma go through in our life. Let me finish. What's the use of holding the karma? What's the use of having the karma? Having the karma not draining means what? Another life. Another life. It's better we get finished as much as possible. As much as you drain your karma, you're out of it. Don't need to preserve that karma. It's not going to help us. Therefore, we should be very thankful for those people coming and giving us hard time. Giving us a hard time. Right? Any questions? Discussions? Okay, just few more slokas and we can conclude. The Lord then said to his attendants, Jaya and Vijaya, depart this place, but fear not. All glory is unto you. Though I am capable of nullifying the Brahmana's curse, I would not do so. On the contrary, it has my approval. Can you imagine? Someone has done service for the Lord for eternity. And the Lord could have easily told, well, I'll nullify your problem. Everyone is face to face here. It's quite interesting here. Because many times, this is the important thing, many times we go to the Lord to always solve our problems. Right? Always solve our problem. Temple going means what? Some problem. We are going and praying, solve my problem. Now the Lord is telling, I'm not going to solve your problem. If this sloka has been read in the temple, just imagine, the priest is telling that, Bhagavatham says, I know you're going through the problem, I'm not going to nullify your problem, solve your problem. Why I have to come to temple? Why I have to give donation? Why I have to do all the services? Stop doing everything, because he's not going to solve my problem anyway. Right? So Lord says, I'm not going to solve your problem. You go through this one for your own benefit. For your own benefit. Right? sometimes we have to let the children fall down as they are trying to walk up. Constantly you're going to hold them. Constantly you're going to do every single thing that you are going to do. Them. They become completely dependent on you and never grow by themselves. Yes? Yes. Same thing the Lord does. He let us grow by different exercises happens in our life. He wants us to mature strong in our faith towards the Lord. Faith towards the Lord. So He's making that happen in our life. Therefore, I have all power to change this whole thing, the curse and everything, but I will not do. Same thing happened to Parikshit, right? 7 days curse could have been solved. Could have been solved? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Forget about all this. Very easy story we know, Arjuna and Krishna. When God, this is very simple. When God is present there, how many days did the Kurukshetra war happen? 18 days. 18 days, is it necessary when God is present, 18 days one has to fight? How many days this Ramayana war happen between Ravana and Rama? 7 days. What? 7 days Lord fought. 18 days to finish Kauravas. Why? Nimitta matram means what? Sankalpa matram. Meaning what? You don't need 7 days. You don't need Arjuna. Arjuna has to come and tell simple thing. Krishna, I have a problem. We lost the kingdom. Our wife was insulted. Duryodhana is tried to do all sort of things. Burnt our house. Gave poison. Please solve the problem. So much thing happened to you, Arjuna. Krishna could have immediately just thought, let them die. Let them die. That's all he has to say. Not even have to say. Just thought. 100 children of Dhritarashtra would have just gone into ashes in a matter of seconds. No need of Kurukshetra war, no need of this Akshogani, of this many Akshogani and 18 warriors and armies and what a resource. Maybe God doesn't know resource management. What a wastage, right? He didn't do any of those things. He could have done all these things. He said, I am here to support. I have given you the instructions. Now follow these things and become victory.
He did to Kuchela, right? Suppose.
Huh?
He did such a thing to Kuchela.
Yes. What did he do? You want to tell?
He gave the house and everything. The Kuchela, Sudama.
Yes, Kuchela, Sudama, yes.
He gave such a thing to him.
Yes.
Like he turned his house into a big mansion and things.
Why?
I mean, just Sankalp he did and then it all.
Yeah, for Sankalpa. I thought you were going to say something different. Yes. Yeah. For Sankalpa. It's just by thought. Anything could happen. But he didn't do this one. So we should understand whatever is happening in our life, it is by the grace of the Lord. We simply accept it and move on, become more stronger, getting hold of the lotus feet of the Lord. Okay, we'll stop here. Any questions or discussions?
So Jaya and Vijaya had some kind of karma because which they are gonna get.
No.
Or
No. If you can, you know the answer. I'm just going to trigger you. Where are they situated?
yeah, Vaikuntha. So they,
Karma. Do they have karma then?
no.
The follow-up question is: they don't have karma. It is not post because of the karma they got into this one. Number one. Number two, do they have a free will? They are individual entities. They are all atmas. They are individual. So with their free will, they can choose what they want to do. So that's what has happened. That's what had happened. Use their free will. The intention was good, but it got into a different way. Therefore, in our services and dealing with people, when we work in an organization and any of those things, we may do our services, our intention may be good, but how we present it changes the whole thing. Changes the whole thing. So we have to be mature enough to say things in a better way So it's not hurts. At the same time, things get happened. Any other questions? Thank you. If no questions,
Some announcements. First of all, we won't have a class next. Changing the time. We should be here by 11. If we can't, then I think we